Thank you so much, Foreign Secretary Johnson. And again, it's always an honor and a pleasure to be here in the United Kingdom and to work with such close and committed allies to find solutions to some of the most complex issues in the world, not the least of which is North Korea and Libya. I do want to thank Foreign Secretary Johnson for his kind words to the American people, particularly in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey and now Hurricane Irma. Many Americans, as you know, continue to suffer in recovery and have a long way to go to rebuild their homes and their lives. Americans, though, do have a reliable friend in the British people, and the British have a reliable friend in the United States. And I think that was clearly demonstrated in the response to the effects of Irma throughout the Caribbean on British territories, American territories, and French territories. The cooperation through that event has been extraordinary. I think all of us set down our own concerns and said, what can we do to help each other's citizens? And we are very thankful for that. We're also committed to take that same spirit into the aftermath, and how can we work together and coordinate now to complete the recovery and begin the long, long process of reconstruction in a way that I think is beneficial to everyone. I do quickly want to recognize and congratulate the United States as new ambassador to the United Kingdom, Woody Johnson. He has arrived here 18 days ago. I think it ensures that our special relationship will remain in good hands. I did comment to the ambassador, I'm a little concerned. I have an Ambassador Johnson and a Foreign Secretary Johnson, and all that assures is that on any given day, Johnson's going to be to blame for something. I do want to also acknowledge that we had a very, I think, useful meeting, short but very useful opportunity to meet with Prime Minister May and members of her senior staff this morning. We discussed a number of areas of mutual interest. I expressed my appreciation to the Prime Minister for the very strong support and resolve of the United Kingdom, both as an important member of the UN Security Council, but also in the public statements and actions to send a very strong message to North Korea and the regime in North Korea that their efforts to advance their nuclear weapons programs and the threatening posture that they have taken is not acceptable to any member of the international community, and that support is very important in our efforts to bring that to a resolution. The Prime Minister and I also had a discussion briefly about the threat that Iran poses to the region through its destabilizing activities in Yemen, in Syria, and other parts of the region. And we discussed our shared interest to find a solution to the conflict in Syria once the war against ISIS, the defeat of ISIS, is concluded. And again, we continue to welcome the opportunity to work closely with our counterparts in the United Kingdom. While Brexit does present unique challenges to the British people, please know that you have a steadfast ally in the United States, and we will stand by our ally as Brexit continues to take shape. And we look forward to continuing this long relationship. As indicated, Foreign Secretary Johnson and I also had the opportunity to delve into a number of detailed topics of mutual concern. As I said, we're very thankful for the UK's leadership, and the Foreign Secretary in particular has been stellar in terms of supporting our efforts on North Korea, from sanctions to also implementing those sanctions, finding ways to de-escalate the violence in Syria, and we express our deep gratitude to the United Kingdom for their very generous contributions towards humanitarian assistance to the long-suffering Syrian people as we continue to liberate areas that have suffered under the oppression of ISIS. Along with representatives from France, we had a very substantial meeting to discuss how to increase that diplomatic and economic pressure on the DPRK, and also how we can work together to relay messages to the regime in North Korea that you need to stand down your program and engage in a dialogue to find a way to a peaceful resolution. Foreign Secretary Johnson and I also had very productive discussions, as he indicated, with the French, Italian, Emirati, and Egyptian colleagues, as well as the UN Special Representative for Secretary General Hassan Salame on the way forward on Libya. Again, an issue that's important to the United States to create stability, reconciliation, and restore Libya under a functioning government. What we don't want to see happen is Libya become a place to birth additional terrorist organizations or provide opportunities for ISIS to reemerge in a different part of the world. We are all committed to helping the Libyans find the Libyan solution that will lead to their future. I think as Special Representative Salame works with the Libyans to advance the political reconciliation, it's important that he know that he has the full support of the United States. We think it is time to focus the mediation efforts in one location at the UN under his leadership, and I think we had very strong unity among the group that met today to support the Special Representatives in his efforts. We will meet again with the UN Secretary, General Gutierrez, to consider these issues in New York next week on the margins of the UN General Assembly meeting. Once again, I want to thank Prime Minister May, Foreign Secretary Johnson, for their most gracious welcome, for a series of very, very productive meetings today on a host of important topics, some of which we've touched on with you, but most importantly for their commitment to action in the achievement of our common goals. So, Foreign Secretary, thank you again.